Stacy here with Bluebird Paper and Thread. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Saturday, January. I did it again. I just had to restart because I said July 31st. It is not. It is January 31st. Although we're having a little bit of a heat wave. I'm so sorry if you are buried in snow and ice. It just is what it is. So it feels like July, but it's not. It's January. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My channel is on my hobbies right now. It's primarily cross-stitching with a little bit of sewing, tiny bit of quilting thrown in. I also enjoy making, I do paper crafting. I like to make greeting cards, gift tags, gift card holders, treat boxes, that kind of thing. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you decided to stop by to see what I've been up to. This past week was fairly uneventful. I did have a finish. My Friday focus is done. No new starts, and I feel like I made quite a bit of progress on my Sunday sampler stitch. And I pulled out some things I haven't touched in a while, and that was kind of fun. So I have one thing from haul, I think, and that's about it. Work was easy peasy. I did wind up staying about 45 minutes late on Thursday, and I wound up leaving 45 minutes early on Friday because all of a sudden my eyes started burning. And that's kind of when this condition, the weather condition, kind of like hit me. It had been going on all day, and then it hit me. So I came home and I took a nap. So what else do you do when your eyes are burning? Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. My finish is Winter Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews. This was a 12 by 12 start, probably 2021, a New Year's Eve 12 by 12. 2021, probably. Yeah. And it's taken me this long to finish it. And here it is. And I love it. I stitched this on 28 count Artichoke by Wichelt. It's a linen. This is a very loose open weave, not my favorite, but you know, there you have it. So I stayed up a little bit past my bedtime last night just to finish this because I was so close. And then I realized I forgot a couple motifs, so I had to, like tiny things, so I had to add that in, but she's done. I'm so happy with how she looks. I ironed her as well, and it just was nice to see the stitches kind of puff up and rehydrate, and you know, it looks pretty good, I think. So I will be shopping for a frame today for it. I think I'm going to order through Art to Frame again, and hopefully it will come by next week, because I would love to. It's Winter Garden and there's snowflakes and reindeer. I think I want to put this in with my January decorations. So it's done. Feels so good. One of you on my last video or a couple videos ago asked, what do I do? Do I unkit? When I am finished with a project, yes, I unkit the project. So I keep my projects in either a bag like this, or I keep it in a handmade project bag like this. And when I'm done, what I do is I have my floss on a ring and floss drops. I take this whole thing and I have a bucket. I just drop it in the bucket. Oftentimes, I don't want to take the time to stop and file it. However, I will say that that might change now that I have changed up how I store my floss. So before, I had my floss on the rings, grouped by number. So the 700s were on one ring, the 500s on another ring, so on. I tried to keep them in order on the scarf hanger. I don't think I have one of those handy. I do not. So I would have to pull that off of a command hook that I had on the side, of my calyx, and it was very cumbersome. I'd hang it on my shelf over here, comb through, try to find it. Sometimes they'd fall. It just wasn't my favorite and very frustrating. So that's why I decided to put them in here. Because then I could just sit down when I wanted to and file all of my floss away, and it would take a long time to do that. Now that I have my floss in drawers, they're still on rings, but I think it might be easier for me to put things away as I go. So I'm not sure how that's going to work yet, because I'm not quite through putting things away in my room to see how much space I have left. The fabric goes back into my stash because I have more fabric, and then I have a drawer that I keep these in, and I put these in a drawer. The charts, I either drop it in my Pass the Stash giveaway box, or I file it in a different spot. I have I don't know where that is. I'm still cleaning my craft room, so things are still a hot mess. But if I want to keep the pattern because I think maybe one of the kids might want it, or it might make a good gift in the future, I will file it in a portable file box that I picked up. I think I got it through Amazon, but I think it was technically an Office Depot purchase. So I'll drop them in there, organized in a hanging folder by designer. And then that way I know that I'm keeping it until I'm ready to pass it along. And that's what I do. I will sometimes, I know some people will stitch all one color and then put that color back to stash. I haven't quite done that yet. And I think that's because like this one, I found I needed the colors, and I'd rather have it than have it be put somewhere else, or maybe I can't find it. So so does that mean I have a ton of floss? It really does. Is that the most efficient? Probably not. But at this point, I'm not quite sure what to do. So that's how I take care of my charts when I'm done, my fabric, my floss, my bags. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please, reach out, let me know. Happy to walk you through whatever I do. My goal is, when I'm done with my craft room reorganization, I will do another craft room tour. Still probably a few weeks away from that. My hope is to make another. I made a huge dent last weekend. My hope is to make another huge dent this weekend, if not get it completely cleared out. I think I'm stalled a tiny little bit just because I have things that need to go into drawers, but they need something, or something else is in the way. It's just a mess still, but we're working on it. Next, in a project bag that I purchased from Pepper Pot Shop on Etsy. And this one I have Winter Trio. Nope, I was right the first time. Winter Trio by Brenda Gervais, and I'm stitching Hello Winter here in the middle. I am stitching mine on 40 count Cocoa by Weeks Dye Works with the called for flosses, and I'm stitching 1/2. This is 40 count Cocoa. Hold on. Yeah, 40 count Cocoa. It happens at least once every video, doesn't it? There we go. So I finished the words Hello Winter, and I started working on the mitten. And then this little stitch is a tree trunk. So I'm very happy with how it's turning out. I love these colors on this linen. I'm very pleased with it. And I hope to have these finished before we get too far into spring, because I would like to have them stitched up and tossed into probably my January bin for decorating. But I love it. I love the teals. It's a little different from the blues. So I'm really enjoying stitching with the teals and the taupes and the browns and that kind of thing. So I have to show the bag again. It's quilted just on this part, but look at that quilting design. How pretty is that? And the back is just this fabric, not quilted, but it's got the padding. Yeah, like it. I pulled out We Are Blessed by Teresa Kogut. This is a collaboration with Teresa Kogut and Chantelle's 141 design. Chantelle did the drum. They sold it as a kit. I was lucky enough to grab one. The kit came with everything. It came with the fabric, the floss. It came with the finishing supplies. And I've got the drum tucked away. It needs to be painted. But this is being stitched on 40 count, 40 count or 36 count? .36 count Mica by Cedar River linens. And there's where I'm at. So I think I worked on this on Thursday. So I got the bird body done and almost the head, and then I just have the tail to do, and then the bird will be done. So I'm really enjoying this one. Can't wait to get it finished. This one will probably be out most of the year, if not all year. Just because that's kind of how I do things sometimes. I'll leave patriotic stuff up year round. This is my birthday sampler, and I can identify it in my whips because I have birthday charm bag bling. And I've decided to do Let It Snow. I did Indigo Lane last year. It was a smaller stitch. I actually finished it and framed it in a year, and the goal is to do the same thing with this one. Something a little smaller, something that hopefully I can finish. And I'm really pleased with my progress on this one. I'm using the called for floss, but I changed my fabric to 40 count Snow Flurries by Live and Dye LA. and that's where I'm at. So I finished both of the birds, I finished the trees, and I finished the snowman. Sorry, things are piled up and starting to slip. Anyways, I love it. I liked it on the called for fabric, that it's, you know, more of a beige neutral, but I didn't have anything that I liked well enough, so I went ahead and I just picked this one. And I think he shows up well enough. I also made one little change. The holly berries are supposed to be cayenne, I think by Weeks Dye Works, and I couldn't find it, so I just used the red that I used for the cardinals. And I actually like the brightness. They're like little pops of red. I did them as French knots. So this one's moving right along. I pulled out Liberty by Brenda Gervais. Clearly I was in a patriotic mood. And I'm stitching this one on 40 count soda bread by Wabi Sabi with the called for flosses. And my progress. I struggled a little bit with this one on that particular day. I had other things that I needed to get done that I was avoiding. I finished the flags and this motif here. And that's when I went to start working on the roof of the house. And I didn't have sticks and twigs in my bag. And I have a couple of them. I don't know where they are. I think they're in with other projects. So I either need to find the DMC equivalent, or I need to find the sticks and twigs, or I need to order another sticks and twigs. But I kind of just stopped. And then I thought, okay, now you can't avoid it anymore. I was just not really in the stitching mood. And I spent the rest of the evening working on my other project that I needed to work on. But I am going to love this one. I really like how the colors are kind of popping off of that fabric color. I just think it's going to be really pretty when it's done. So I'll have to figure out the roof color here this next week and put some time in on it. My Sunday sampler. So I don't know if I explained it with my finish, but that's a Friday focus. So if you're new here, my Friday focus is I take a piece that is at least 50% done and that I'm tired of it hanging out in my whip pile. And so what I do is I work on it every Friday until it's finished. Usually that's 3 to 4 weeks of me touching a project and it's done when it's at the 50% mark. So that was this finish back here. What I decided I need to do, it worked so well. I started that last year, the Friday focus. What I'm really happy about is that it worked so well for Friday focus. I thought maybe I can do a sampler Sunday and move some of these samplers that have been hanging around for a long time. And so that's what I'm doing, and it is working. I did that to finish up Land That I Love, and now I'm working on Simple Life by Teresa Kogut. This was a stitch along in 2022. It was her second one through the Patreon level 4, tier 4. So I was excited to start it, and I stayed up with it until like month 3, and then I lost track. So it's been kind of just hanging out in my stash, and I really want to get this finished. So I made the commitment, and I've been working on it. I am stitching this on the called for, which is 40 count Overcast linen by Cedar River. And here is where I'm at. So I finished bringing the fencing all the way over, and then I started working on the flowers. I think there's 2 more flowers that extend this down here, and then it will be done. I'm thinking this is probably going to be, I mean, I've already been working on it on Sundays, I think through the month of January. Some days I have more stitching time than others. Like next weekend, with it being Super Bowl, we don't do a Super Bowl party, although I told the kids I'm going to do meatball sandwiches. Come over. If you want. I'm just going to be stitching and, eating. What else are you going to do? And watching the game. So I'll probably get a little bit more done in this next weekend for sure. I am going to work on it tomorrow as well. But we'll see. It depends on how much I get done in here tonight, in putting things away, and how much stitching time I'll have on this tomorrow. But I will touch it tomorrow. And I do love it. I think it's super pretty, and I'm so glad that I started it, and now I just need to finish it. And I think touching it every week will be paramount in getting that done. Okay. I think my neighbors are having a party. So if you hear a lot of commotion, it's my sweet neighbors. Okay. All right. And then I decided I wanted to work on this piece. This, my husband got for me. I ordered it, and he, of course, bought it for me for Christmas. But it is a kit from Luca S. It is called The King of Flowers. And I have seen this in the Stitchery catalog for a very long time, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I finally decided, you know what? Just do it. So I pulled this out, and I'm using everything that came in the kit. It came with the floss, a giant chart. This is the chart. A giant chart, the floss, and the fabric, a needle, everything you need. Look, this is the floss. And it is a 16 count Ada, I believe. And at first I thought, oh, this is going to be a lot of, because I started up here, and I thought, oh, that's going to be so much white. But really, there is subtle color variations in there that you can barely see. It almost looks like there's something printed, you know, that's showing through from the backside. No, that's actually really soft colors that are dividing the sections up. So it actually is much easier to stitch than I thought it would be. And this is my progress. So I started working on that flower bud and I finished stitching in this area here. So I have a few stitches to put in the middle of that little circle, but this was the good breaking point for filling in. So my goal now is to, and I got a little bit done here. It's kind of hard to see. So my goal now is to kind of start working up this way. I'm trying to stitch a page at a time. So that means the whole top will be done. This is about the bottom of the page, I believe. So I was happy to put some time in. The 16 count Ada is just a really nice, like it stitches quick for me. So I am really grateful for that. And I'm enjoying all the color blending and the different shading. You can kind of see like there's more peachy here, a little bit more green here, kind of a bluish gray here. You can kind of see. It looks like it's dirty. It's not dirty. It's the shading of the very palest of the colors. So I'm enjoying it. Oh yeah. Okay. That's all the stitching I did. I did not get to sewing last weekend because I was putting things away out here. Tonight, though, I think I am going to sew. I'm not going to stitch. For some reason, my elbows and my forearms have been bothering me. I don't know if it's a combination of my excessive stitching and typing and work, but I'm struggling with it a little bit. So I thought, do something else crafty. I mean, still craft because it's what brings you joy, but do something else. So I think I might do stitching because it uses my hands and my arms in a different way. Kind of like the painting does. And if I don't get any stitching done, I will probably get some painting done. It's possible I could get both done or touch both, do a little bit of sewing and a little bit of painting. But I have several collections of fabric that I picked up through the holidays, and I really want to get, I open up the cupboard and I see them and I'm like, oh, I need to sew. And then I never do. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. We shall see. Let me see. Coming up this next week, more organizing, more stitching. I will have one evening that I'll have to work a little bit later at work. Other than that, I think I'm good. I don't anticipate having to stay after. Which I really appreciate and enjoy. We are opening up our camp season with a new registration system and a new way of completing the registrations in-house. So that will happen starting on Tuesday. So I will be going in Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe Thursday early to answer phone calls, but really it should go fairly smoothly, and I probably is just excessive for me to get there 2 hours early. But then that means I get off work, I think, a little earlier. So hopefully that will be okay. And if I don't, then I'll just take off early another day during the week, maybe Friday. I love to extend my weekends out a little bit. Oh, okay, haul. I have one thing to show you for haul. I was on Etsy scrolling through something, and this chart popped up and I fell in love with it. So I went, or maybe it was Facebook, it doesn't matter. Somewhere on the interwebs, I found this chart and I went to Etsy and I purchased it. But it's the American flag. I don't really like the 6. I'll probably change that a little bit, but in 1776. And maybe I'll add 2026 at the bottom, but I love it. I tell you, I like patriotic stitching anyways, but I am all about the patriotic stitching this year for sure. That's my one haul. And actually, you know, that's I bought it a couple weeks ago. I just keep forgetting to show you. That's it. That's all she wrote. Yeah, so busy, just cleaning up, putting things away, stitching. I need to tomorrow I'll decorate for Valentine's Day, so I'll have a better idea of what my Valentine's decorations look like. I have a new tiered tray to decorate, so, and I wasn't sure I was going to have it by Valentine's Day, so I didn't pick up a bunch of stuff ahead of time. So I'm probably out of luck on some of that for a while, or until next year. But I did start a stitch. I would love to get that finished, so I'll probably pick that one up this week. Of course, A Simple Life. My Friday focus, since I finished it, I'm actually thinking of pulling out the monthly weigh-in March, because I keep dragging my feet on that one too. So I think I need to pull that one out and give that some dedicated attention. So I think that will be my next Friday focus, and get that across the finish line so I can move on to the next one. And we'll just go from there. Still a ways to go on Sunday Sampler. Haven't stitched any Christmas. I probably should pull out something Christmas and work on that. Because I do want to touch something Christmas every month. And I was thinking, you know, it would be nice to touch something fall or Halloween once a month as well. So I might do that also, because I didn't do that in January at all. So that is it for me. I hope, thank you for staying through this. I feel like it's discombobulated video. It's just that kind of day. Oh, I know. I got up early this morning and I worked in my garden. So all of my roses are trimmed all the way back and fed. My one of my heavenly bamboos is trimmed and cut back, and my hydrangeas are cut back, cleaned. The bed is cleaned up with all the dead from all the dead leaves, and fertilized so they could go more blue. So I'm hoping that I can remember in the middle of March to feed them again with the blue stuff and see if we can't get some blooms that are a little more on the blue side. It was nice to, I think I spent probably a couple hours this morning outside with the dog, and it was really nice. Really enjoy that quiet time early in the morning before it gets too warm, like just tending to my plants. Now that my daughter's moved out and she took her dog with her, I'm looking towards and looking forward to this spring, planting some more potted plants, because they won't get torn up. So that's always a plus. All right, now I'm done. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. If you like what you saw, the ramblings that is, you know, me, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, share the video, like the video, comment on the video. I do read the comments. I do enjoy reading the comments. Until next time, happy stitching.